Hello, beautifuls. The other day I came across a post where a well-known New Age spiritual figure was talking, and they were talking about the incident of Charlie Kirk. And they started off by saying that evil killed Charlie Kirk. And then they proceeded to list many events and other assassinations that evil was responsible for, and went on to explain how we are living in the time of a profound spiritual warfare. And I sat with that because something about that just didn't sit right with me. And there is no doubt that there is a reality of harm, destruction, even confinement and manipulation that overlays our experience. And although that is true, the moment that we label anything as evil, it creates this battlefield, two sides, us against them. And I guess if you are believing that we are in a warfare, that would make sense because you need an enemy, right? However, when we look at it from the perspective of Christ consciousness, the idea of condemnation and judging and casting others as enemies doesn't align. For he said himself, "Forgive them, for they do not know what they do." And in this place, it can be highly uncomfortable because it creates a bit of a paradox. Because if we aren't judging, we feel like somehow we are condoning. But that's where the juice is. When we can walk in that middle way, where we can recognize the reality and harm that has happened, and we don't need to judge it, because when we are looking at the organic whole, we understand that even pain, harm, and disruption has its place. It is part of that whole. And oftentimes it is through these moments of disruption, harm, and even violence that it becomes a catalyst for mass awakening. When we look, for example, at the pandemic, how many people started to awaken during that time period? And yes, it was disruptive, and yes, it was manipulative, but that disruption often sends people into a place where they seek deeper truths. Their comfort has been shattered, their illusion has been shattered. And so in essence, it serves a purpose of higher intelligence. And that's where the middle way comes in, where we can honor what is happening in our reality. We can also understand that there is something greater at play, and both have their place within that experience. Now, warfare, whether that is spiritual or otherwise, always needs an enemy. It's us versus them. And in a world that is filled with division, we do not need to add to that. When we want to create a new world, one of peace, one of harmony, one of order, we can't keep thinking in the same old ideologies. And in this place where we can honor that paradox, this creates a restoration, not reactivity, not revenge. This is a new idea, I know, to some, and it's one that will revolutionize your experience if you let it. We've been so groomed to believe that we have to pick one side over the other. And what if it really is about restoring balance within ourselves and in our minds and in our hearts, and showing up in the world that way, becoming the living truth? We were never meant or designed to judge another.